Alrighty, ready to pull the trigger on the Creality K2 Plus. Yeah, Creality K2 Plus. Let me do a little correction here. Yeah, there we go. Creality K2 Plus. The combo for 2,390,300 won. Yeah, it's not dollars. If I had $22.4 million, that would buy a lot of 3D printers, and that's yeah. But I'm only getting one, and it's in one. So when you do the conversion rate, it ends up being kind of interesting. With that being said, yeah, finally going to pull the trigger on an FDM printer, and after much review and angst of searching and all of this stuff and going over a number of different printers, considered a lot of different printers like the Ender 5 Max that just came out, which is around $770, which is it's a large build area FDM printer, which is really nice. But if I wanted to do other filaments that required a heated chamber, needing those higher temperatures and so on and so forth, I wouldn't be able to do it with the Ender 5 Max. They don't have the enclosure come out for it yet. So that is going to be a thing that's coming out in the future, so which makes me wonder if they're going to offer any additional pieces with that. But by the time you throw in an Ender 5 Max and you buy an enclosure for it, and maybe you need, I don't think you would need a chamber heater, because there's a lot of printers coming out these days that can print higher temp filaments, and they just use the ambient heat of the build plate. So that's becoming a thing these days. However, it still seems to me from doing research that if you really want to have a lot of control over the heat in your printer, then an active heated chamber is there's something to be said for that. But with that, yeah, looking at the Creality K2 Plus combo for $1,500, it's $1,499 in the United States. And that's what we got going on. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see what we have in that aspect. So what I want to do is kind of go over some of the reasons why. Some of the other machines that I took a look at. So one of them was FL Sun and some of their products. Their FL Sun, T1 and S1 or whatever, the first ones that came out since they're older ones that were promised to be, all that in a bag of chips. It had a lot of problems, and then they came, and so that was kind of pushed off to the side, tons of problems, and then they came out with their pro versions, which seem to have been better. And but yeah, that just doesn't fill me with a lot of warm fuzziness. The fact that you put out two machines and you had a ton of problems, and then now you come out with fixed versions, pro versions of those machines, and those work. Yeah, I really don't like that. That just tells me that, yeah, there's a lot going there. And the other, that's a big part of it. But I think the even bigger part is the build area, that it's circular and kind of a, circle thing. And then it kind of goes up to the top, with a cone at the top that peaks. I just don't see that as something that is conducive to what I want to do. So for other people, it's probably absolutely cool. And I admit that this is only personal preference when talking about the FL Sun products. But I think one of the other bigger things that I said no in regards to the FL Sun products is that the noise levels were so crazy. And they've gotten a little bit better in their pro versions, but they're still extremely loud. And I live in an apartment, for those of you who don't know, I'm retired in Korea, and I live in an apartment. I bought the apartment. And so it's got great insulation, but I don't want to have a loud printer that would bother the neighbors. What are the odds? I'm a mature civil adult that doesn't want to bother my neighbors, sue me. I take that into consideration. They do the same for us. So it's kind of a Korean thing. But yeah, so that kind of pulled the FL Sun products off of the tables, mainly because of the noise. And I think with the Creality K2 Plus, we'll be able to do what we want with minimal noise. And even then, I could probably even do some some more insulation on the inside. There's other things that you can do to minimize the sound and go that route. But yeah, it ends up looking at a bunch of other printers. But I've run into an obstacle being an expat here in Korea, in the fact that I can't always get stuff here in Korea. And so, for example, the recent, what is it? The Elegoo Centauri Carbon came out, and for $300, I was like, wow, that is pretty awesome. Have a smaller printer, be able to do that, kind of dip your toe into the 3D printing market and take a look at that. But again, we're running into the problem of I can't get those things in Korea. And, even with the Creality K2 Plus, I'm going to have to buy locally. So in other words, there's going to be a middleman involved that's going to somehow get those into Korea, and then they're going to do their little markup, and then I'm going to have to pay that, and then it'll be delivered to me. Some people have said, hey, well, why don't you just order off of Amazon? That is an option, but the problem is not that Amazon won't ship to Korea. They will, but if packages are bigger in a certain size aspect and weight, they will not ship those things to Korea. So anything that's over, like, I think $50, you get free shipping, but it kind of tops out when the package gets big and huge, and they won't ship it, which is really weird. So I really don't understand that, and so that kind of takes that off the table. And even then, the Creality K2 Plus isn't on Amazon as far as I know, but similar things that are big, like the K1 Max, those packages are just too big, and it will not ship to my Korean address. So I'm kind of, I'm left out, I'm out of the loop on all this stuff. So tried contacting some companies of some other products and saying, hey, I live in Korea, can you ship it to Korea? And there has to be a certification for those products in Korea, so they have to get approved in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes that takes 3 or 4 months. I don't know what the process is. From what I can see, it's 3 or 4 months. And so that's why there's kind of this backlog for getting certain products into Korea that are awaiting those approvals. Whereas in the United States, I'm not sure how that works with Creality, and they're just able to pump those things into the U.S. economy, and everybody loves it, So I made my bed, and I got to lie in it. But with that said, the choice of being an expat in Korea was retire early or not. I chose to retire early, so I'm accepting of these hurdles. But yeah, some of these things are really interesting. And again, I'm kind of leaning towards the Creality K2 Plus, so much so that I've nailed down a seller here in Korea to do that. I want to kind of go over some of the reasons of why I want to get the K2 Plus. And some people haven't had good experiences with it. It seems like more people have had good experiences. So we're going to take a look at that and see what we got. So here we have the Creality K2 Plus, and we're going to take a look at what we have. $1,500. So this is kind of it's not a bad price. I mean, it seems a little expensive. 350 by 350 by 350, 3,000 millimeter squared acceleration, so 30,000, where most other machines are 10 or 20K. Actively heated chamber, again, we talked about that, so it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, especially in my position of where it takes a long time to get stuff, and I'd rather buy once, cry once. So yeah, let's see, dual AI cameras, flow rate, alert of failures, which is kind of cool. Got a big frame, big thick frame. And as we continue down, it also comes with the multi-material system, or CFS, or whatever they end up calling it, CFS unit, which is Creality Filament Switching Unit, I think. I don't know, whatever the hell the name is. Auto run out, tangle detection, filament switch and relay, moisture proof filament storage, which moisture proof? I don't think it's an actively heated filament chamber. I think there's places in there that you can see that you can put like desiccant in there to help remove humidity from your filament, but I don't think it's actively heated. And that would be interesting to see if maybe that could be done. But again, it's probably I'm probably not going to be printing, excuse me, in multiple colors. This is more going to be like, have 4 rolls of black PLA plus or carbon fiber or whatever, and so that whatever prints that I do doesn't run out of filament. But if I wanted to do colors, I could. I think 4 is enough. That's just not really a big thing. It's just kind of a and to be honest, I've been kind of bouncing back and forth. Excuse me. Still trying to get over this cold. But I'm still kind of bouncing back and forth between the combo or not getting the combo and just getting the K2 plus by itself. So that comes into play, and I'm just kind of like, we'll see how that goes. Let's see, what else do we got? File management, Creality Prints 5.0 with slicing and all that stuff. RFID filaments. I'm going to be purchasing some Creality filament that has RFID, and I guess the thing is that when you put the filament into the CFS, then it automatically puts, the color, all of the specs for that individual filament, and so you don't have to mess with that. It's an automated feature, which seems like a cool thing. 16 colors, I don't think I want to do that. Dual Z axis assisted linear rods, which looks good. Flexible build plate, all of that good stuff. Server motors, yeah, good. 10-minute benchy, of course it's their own benchy. Hyper PLA, castles, active belt tensioning, which could be a good thing. But I have seen videos where people are having problems with their active belt tensioning systems, which requires some adjustment. So, but once they adjust it, it seems like it wasn't a problem after that. So it'd be interesting seeing this type of technology. It'll only get better over time. And so eventually you'll get a machine where it will actively gauge the tensioning of the belts and run a test or whatever. Maybe it does it off a combination of, prints and, I don't know, the frequency of the belts and tuning them like you would tune a piano wire, guitar wire, or something like that. Automated runout sensor and sensor filament cutter, which there are some other machines that end up where you have to do manual cutting to load and unload and all that stuff, the filament. And I said, it's one of the nice things that I wanted to have, so it's one less thing that I got to do. And I think we're getting to the point in FDM printing and with resin printing is you're having all of these things that used to be, ooh, wow, new technology. Now they're becoming more normal and more the status quo for machines than they were in the past. So these things are getting to a place of where, these are expected. These are the basics that other machines that are going to follow are going to have to incorporate in their machines. Next gen drive extruder, so we got that. Talks about flow and hot ends and heating and all that stuff. Titanium, I don't know if that one says copper alloy, rapid heat distribution or dissipation. Titanium alloy, minimal heat creep. Quick filament melting, hardened steel nozzle, which is good. I'm going to get a replacement, a spare part for that. Talks about, the supports and all that stuff. Talks about the auxiliary fans. And this should be good. Dual AI cameras. Keep a watch on your print. Monitoring time lapse. Really a time lapse. I don't think time lapse is really important unless you're marketing. I mean, there's something to be said for, from a technical aspect, you don't need time lapse. You really don't. It doesn't do anything for you. It's an after the fact product. But the cool thing is that when you post these videos of a time lapse of a print you did, that's free advertising for the company. So I think that's that's a smart thing there. Toolhead AI camera for flow rate optimization. Auto leveling, which is going to be good. This is going to be interesting because, like I said, I haven't done 3D printing for FDM, So I'm going to be doing an unboxing of this. I'm going to be doing the first print and kind of a live stream thing. I'm going to see if I can do that. And buying this with my own money, it's 390,300 won for me. Workflow, Creality, I think they're up to what, 5 or 6, I think it is. Thank you for the like, I appreciate that. So between that and Orca Slicer, it'll be interesting putting my toe into the water of 3D slicers, which shouldn't be too bad because I do a lot of resin printing stuff. So yeah, there's that. Household, nice machine, awesome features, air purifier, built-in RFID tag, yeah, Ethernet, dual band Wi-Fi. It's got some stuff there, and yeah, the 350 cube build area is going to be pretty nice, and it looks. The net weight is 35 kilos. Wow. Let's see, what other interesting things? PLA, ABS, PETG, PACF, PLACF, PET, ASA, PPACF, carbon fiber and those higher things. So yeah, this is going to be pretty good. Active built bed tilt calibration, lighting kit, input shaping, air purifier, filament detection. That'll be interesting to see how that comes about. G-code, slicing software, languages, you got a bunch there. So, and then their CFS, which slots, desiccant is the drying method. I'm wondering if you can't put in a heater. I don't know if anybody's done that, and which is kind of interesting because when we talk about heaters, you can buy aftermarket USB heaters, and I have one in my Saturn III Ultra, and I use that, and it does a pretty good job. So I'm wondering if there would be room in there somewhere to put a heater to heat, and then the desiccant to remove the humidity. I don't know. That's just some stuff that's kind of banging along in my mind. And then we come down to the reviews. And so when I looked at this, I was like, seriously? Came with faulty parts, missing screws. Review will change with corrections. Contacted Reality, no response. Garbage, even worse, customer care. I received this printer 2 months ago. Hinges broke from the door. Contacted Reality the same day, and after nearly a month, they finally reached out to buy a new door and send it to the insurance company, which I did. I finally received a replacement door today, and both the hinges were broke off of this door. And it says go with Bamboo Labs. And then you see stuff like this, these 1-star reviews, and then there's other ones that are good. That just kind of makes me wonder on Creality. But then I've been seeing more and more great reviews of the Creality K2 Plus. So just cross your fingers for me. And I'm not going to go to the Bamboo route with their X1 Carbon, just for the fact that they lock down their system, and I don't agree with what they're doing of forcing people to use their cloud system and expose themselves to hackers, and then lying about it and saying we're doing this all for your safety, but really it's not. That's a whole nother video. I've talked to that at great extent on other videos, so I won't bore you and ramble on about that. But when we take a look at what we're going to be buying with this K2 Plus, like I said, this is going to be in Korea. It's already in Korea, and we're looking at 2,288,600 won. And so you get a discount price. I'm going to see if maybe I can get a 100,000 won discount price. But if we look at just the printer itself, you're going to subtract 300,000 approximately. And so we're looking at 1,983,300 won. So let's take a look at that. And we'll clear this out. So 1,983,300 won. And we're going to divide that by the exchange rate of 1,430. And so we're looking at $1,386, $1,386. Ends up there's free shipping. And this is the cheapest price that I could find here in Korea, with this product being here in Korea. So if we take a look at that, but if we look at the combo, and we'll get rid of that one, we're looking at 2,288,600, and we'll divide that by 1430. And you're looking at $1,600. And then I ordered a couple other things like some high-speed filament and a couple other, some other parts and pieces. So, it's like, it's not too bad. Considering it's $1,500 in the United States, you're looking at $1,600, and I think the total is going to end up being a little bit more than that. So I'll have some replacement parts, and for those of you who are wondering what kind of like a Korean shopping, this is all translated into English because I use what am I using? Chrome, and Chrome has the plugin where you can translate from different languages into English, except for graphics. So, but yeah, it goes through. They offer some other products as well, filament splicing, and then it's going to get down to the Creality and talking about the thing and the machine. And the interesting thing is that looking at all of the reviews here in Korea for the K2 Plus have been really, really good. So that's kind of another reason why I'm basing my decision to get the K2 Plus, is because I've seen so many good reviews here in Korea. Like it says, there's like 22 reviews, and it's 4.68 out of 5 stars. And it's, 17 or 5 stars. And it's gotten really, really good reviews. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. And if we end up going to, putting this into the shopping cart, I'm getting an extra 0.4 millimeter nozzle. That's 16,000 won. Let's see, we're getting another ceramic heating block, 47,000 won, and then the K2 Plus combo, and that also comes with some high-speed PLA++ iron gray, which is about 18,400 won, and then the Creality RFID high-speed filament black, which will be 20,300 won. So if we just kind of look at 20,000 won for filament, and we divide that by 1430, we're looking at about $14. We're looking at about $14 a roll. So that's not bad for filament, in my opinion, for where I live. And it ends up, I think Anycubic does. Sorry, I missed your comment earlier. Let's see. Oh, he's got another comment here, so let's take a look at that. I'm not a fan of the color in the actual state of technology. I like big format, but too expensive. Yeah, that's true. I totally get you on that, in that, yeah, some of this stuff is kind of expensive. But again, I'm kind of the mind of buy once, cry once. And to the point of where it's like, if I want to print with these higher temp filaments, I'm able to do that. If I want to print larger things, so I'm kind of looking down the road. Otherwise, I would have gone with an Elegoo and Terry Carbon for $300, and I still might do that. I don't know. That's very tempting. If, the Centauri Carbon, if it was like a 300 build area, that would be awesome. But I know that when you get to those larger build areas, especially with my electronics background, is that, with servos and motors, and then, I worked with radio frequency and communications equipment. So I kind of, and worked in an industrial aspect for the state of Colorado. Yeah, I kind of understand, like, the higher you go, the more possibility of, movement towards the top of your prints, layer lines, and so on and so forth, with larger items. But if you're going to be doing something big, you're probably going to be doing some type of post-processing. Skua says, wait for an Prusa XL alternative. That's true. The Prusa is one of the machines that I considered getting for $2,500. and it ended up, it's like, that's a bit more than I want to chew. I do realize that Prusa has some great stuff, but there was a lot of problems with the XL when it first came out, and a lot of people were burned against that. So, and it took a long time for Prusa to get that thing up and running. And I wouldn't do the 5 print head. I would probably maybe 2 at most. But I mean, that amount of money is just kind of insane. That's just not in my budget. It's a great machine now from what I've been seeing and the research that I've been doing, but it just kind of bothered me when it first came out and there were so many problems with it that just kind of put that off the table. And within the budget that I have, definitely kind of puts that out of the way for what I can buy because of the budget constraint that I put on myself. So, but yeah, in one of the other machines was the Airy One Thinker X400, which is a 400 cube machine, and that was kind of interesting. But there's a lot of problems with that machine on their Facebook page, and it's just their Kickstarter. And let's just take a look at that because it's just here it is. There's their machine, 400 build area. But if you look at this, it's a machine. It's got some casters on the back, and it's extremely heavy. They say you can stack these things on top of each other. I don't know if the input shaping is that great. They sell it as in between hobbyist and industrial to fill that niche for like print farms and so on and so forth. But I don't know. It just, there's a lot of different problems that I see with this. And the amount of money that they want on this, available rewards of $1,400, and it doesn't even come with a multi-material system. Which is kind of a problem. And if you look at the after Kickstart price, if you look down here, it's $2,500. So basically you're looking at, a 400 cubed enclosed with some acrylic panels. There's no active heated chamber. There's no, they say it's for print farms, but there's no connector on the back in which you could hook up a ventilation system of any type. You'd have to manufacture that yourself. To my knowledge, there is no print after power loss, continue print after power loss. And it's just a lot of problem. No heated chamber. We're evaluating user demand for a heated chamber upgrade module. Yeah, and a lot of people have been telling them, because you have such a huge volume of air within that printer, you're going to need a heated chamber to do those types of filaments. Magnetic print bed issues. There are some people where they were doing high heat printing with that, and it ends up that the actual plate popped up, and it just, during the print, I'm not talking the print popped up from the build plate, I'm talking the flexible build plate popped up and warped. So yeah, and just looking at this thing, it was just like they made a lot of claims, and then now we're seeing all of these problems that Aurora Tech pointed out. Let's see. Only the emergency switch is retained to improve the yield rate. Front USB port is retained while the rear has been replaced with a Wi-Fi antenna, which is good. Built-in Wi-Fi module. Before, it didn't even have the Wi-Fi module, which is insane for $1,300 and an after Kickstarter price of $2,500. So, and other people were saying this before Aurora Tech Channel did her video on the X400, and other people did, and then now all of a sudden they're scrambling to try to put these basic things that a lot of other printers have that are the norm now, and now they're trying to, core XY belt adjustment will be changed to automatic adjustment. Imagine that. What are the odds? Nozzle cleaning strip is no longer included. Why would you take that away? Again, if you're talking about a print farm and you're talking about efficiency, you would want to have the cleaning strip. I don't understand why they took that. Heat bed can reach to 120, hot end assembly being upgraded for increased durability. There are some problems with that. Magnetic device for the door will be included. So they've had some problems with this. Can print up to 500 millimeters a second in regards to print speed. And it just, some of this stuff just doesn't really, they're talking about production grade versus consumer grade. And it's tailored for professional and production use. But you don't have print after power loss, so I don't understand that. Let's see, we got a comment. SV08 for big format. Yep, absolutely. So I think they're asking way too much money for this. And so they try to do this little comparison here, consumer grade versus theirs. And pre-assembly complete. Others, they say, you have to do them assembled, with parts with 2 people. With some machines, maybe, but other machines, they come totally assembled. So I find it disingenuous that they're trying to assume that all other large build volume machines require 2 people, or at least an hour, or whatever it is. It's kind of like, I have a problem with that. Fully enclosed, they say that other people have their open chamber, and what their fuzzed out picture here is the Ender 5 Max, which is $769, because there was a lot of people that were talking about the Ender 5 Max. I was one of them, saying, why would I pay $1,400 or the after Kickstarter price of $2,500 when you can get an Ender 5 Max that is 400 cubed? Yeah, you have to put it together. Is that a deal killer? Absolutely not. For $770 versus $2,500, it doesn't really make up. Print speed the same. Structural design, all metal frame with Core XY architecture and cost minimized with a singular linear rail using lead screw. The thing is that, you can... does that really make a difference? When you do prints, is there a difference? And that's other things that people have complained about the X400, is that you haven't done a comparison with your Creality. So I find it really disingenuous that they make these claims of saying, well, this is worse, when they haven't even done the comparisons yet. And then with the other aforementioned problems, a production model unit, professional and production use, but you don't even have, print after power loss. Design service life, 3 years. How do we know that? You look at Airy One's 2 other Thinker machines, and they don't do well. The 2 other machines that they've had in the past, anywhere 3 to 5 years, because the timeline is so squirrely, it ends up that users of their prior 2 machines are saying customer service sucks, and they basically don't service those machines anymore. On one machine, on the Airy One website, they have 10 reviews on one machine and 0 reviews on the other machine. And the machine that has 10 reviews, it rates 3.2 stars out of 5. And basically, people have been saying, hey, I can't use it. They're not helping. There's no technical support. So that is a huge thing for me when it comes to this. Kyle's here. He says, I haven't had time to make a video, but so far I've been impressed with the K2 Plus. Incredible with ABS. K2 has some issues. I've already found easy solutions to the few I've had. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to pull the trigger on this, and I think I'm going to do it. And so, I might be collaborating with you on those problems if I run into those similar things, which will be interesting. So... But back to this X400, stackability, no additional racks needed. Stackability, really? I've asked that question about the stackability. If you have 2 X400s stacked on top of each other, is the input shaping, and I'm asking this because I don't know, is input shaping such a thing now that it will be able to, in real time, and one machine printing slow and another machine printing fast, they're stacked on top of each other, that the input shaping from both of those machines will be able to adjust on the fly in real time to negate those vibrations from each machine and whatever they're printing at different times, at different speeds, in different materials or whatever. If it does, that's awesome. But I'm very suspect about that. I'm just like, combined with their problem with all the other stuff. Stackability. I don't care about stackability. I would rather have I would rather have my own racks. Management software, production grade management software, consumer grade management. I don't really think that's a big deal. It's neither here nor there. Other people are talking about, if you really do a print farm, you can have multiple machines, and so I don't see that as a deal killer. Yeah, so it goes through all this stuff, but a lot of problems have been, 500 millimeters a second, 10K acceleration, flow rate 35. Obviously, those are the top speeds, and really you're going to be dropping that down by 200, 250. So you're looking at 250 millimeters per second for speed. Acceleration is probably going to be a third or a half. Flow rate, you'll be lucky to get up to 35. Again, the faster you go, you're going to see a decrease in quality in your prints. So, posting the most, your daily driver miles on this thing is not going to be these things right here. So, and that's why, something like the Creality K2 Plus, which has 20K acceleration, and I think it was what was the acceleration on this thing? Come on. What are we looking at for acceleration? 350. I'm not really worried about losing 50. What was the speed and acceleration? Acceleration is 30,000. Print speed 600. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So that fills me with a more warm fuzzy than this here. And even with the K2 Plus, you're going to be operating at less than, the top speeds that it is offered there. Kyle ends up saying, I think the K2 is 30, out of the box, but prints a lot faster than my X1C. Oh, that's good to know. That is good to know. So, again, trying to find that perfect balance of, speed and accuracy and quality of prints. As those speeds get higher and higher, we end up with people and machines. We have machines that you can get faster prints, and if you're looking at production, then speed is of the essence. Let's see what else. Yeah. Advanced technology, quick release nozzle. I don't know if they have quick release. Is it aftermarket? Is their own proprietary thing? I'm not sure. And being that I'm in Korea, I'm definitely going to be getting, like I said, I'm going to get a spare nozzle, spare hot end, and all that stuff. So, it just, and people are bringing up problems, there's a vent on the back with a fan. If this is a production machine, why wouldn't you have a connector on there for a 4-inch vent hose or a 6-inch vent hose? Or, have it a 6 and have a reducer to go down to 4-inch that comes with the machine. Because if you're going to be using this as a, production machine, you might want to put that in there. 50 to 60 reduced noise. If I got this X400, I'd probably add some insulation on the inside to help dampen the noise even more. But, management software, open source clicker, it's kind of, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kyle ends up saying and talking about, I did an accidental test run printing parts with X1C and K2 Plus, both stock, default profiles, no speed changes, and the quality of the K2 is the same as the X1C, while also being faster. So that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to have. So hopefully we're keeping our fingers crossed for that, of getting the Creality K2 Plus. And the thing is, when I look at the K2 Plus from the manufacturer that I'm looking to get it from, Da, da, da. If I order it today by 1700 today, it'll be shipped today, and there's a possibility I could get it in the next day or two. Ooh. Which that's why I wanted to go with this manufacturer here in Korea because they already have it on hand, and other companies their product was more expensive. The same product was more expensive, but I'd have to wait for it to ship from overseas to Korea, and then once it got to Korea, then it would have to come to me and customs and all that stuff. So that would be shipping from the States. You're talking about 2 weeks, maybe 20 days, somewhere around there, a kind of average, and then it's going to stop for customs and VAT tax and import fees, which is about 18%. So I don't know how they were able to get this here into Korea. Maybe they just did a huge purchase and got a discount. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. SCOA says more acceleration and print speed with not enough volumetric plastic production is useless. 31 in K2 is one of the best. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast you go. If the flow rate on your machine can't pump that melted plastic onto the build plate, it doesn't really matter how fast you go, which is absolutely true. So again, all of these things, all these variables come into consideration, and you'll never print at the highest speed and flow rate that they advertise. I don't care what machine you get. And with my little rinky-dink electronics background in working in industrial, there's always the advertised, but then your daily driver actuality comes into play. Kyle comes up and says, the only suggestion I have for the K is record the unboxing process just in case there is shipping damage. Okay, I'm planning on doing that. It was packed really well, shockingly well, actually. But there have been issues for some. Yes, and I've noticed that. And one of those things was the feet on the machine, which I don't understand why they would have the feet on the machine, especially with so many people saying, hey, this is a huge problem. Why wouldn't they just remove the feet and have the user put the feet on? You know, it's 4 feet, you put them on, boom, you're good to go. Hopefully they updated the packaging, but I do have an ace in the hole. And that's because Korean shipping and deliveries are way more, they don't manhandle their packages here in Korea. You've seen the UPS and all the delivery videos that you see, the Ring cameras of people just throwing packages on people's porches or garages or whatever and damaging products. And you see holes kicked into the sides of boxes and so on and so forth. There's not a lot of pride given to packaging and delivery in the United States when compared to Korea as a whole. I have yet to have anything in Korea that has had a damaged package. And it's, the delivery drivers take great pride in delivering and, setting the packages down, doing a good job, because all of that can be tracked back to them. So I'll actually, if I order something, I'll get something on my phone that says, hey, the delivery has started. They're going to be in your area between, within these 2 hours, which is pretty nice. Excuse me. And then once it's delivered, they take a picture and then they show you that your product has been delivered. And if you have any problems, you can contact the shipper, the delivery person, and so on and so forth, and if there's any issues. And they just take great pride in their work. So I got that going for me. Kyle ends up says, drove 2 hours to pick up my machine from an actual store just to avoid shipping it here in Canada. Would have been in 1,000 pieces by the time it got to my door. And that's exactly what I experienced in the United States. A lot of stuff that's delivered. It really depends on who the delivery person is. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't care. Oh, man. So not only do I have a cold, we also getting some tile work done, and we just finished cleaning, and of course we have tile dust and everything, and so basically we did spring cleaning. tile guys are coming back today to finish up the silicone grouting and stuff like that. So the majority of stuff is gone. We're running our air purifier and all that. But yeah, my cold and the dust from the last 2 days have kind of driving me into this coughing fit. But yeah, so I got that going for me for the shipping, and I'm definitely going to do a live unboxing, which I'm probably going to do in the morning, so that way we can get some more engagement. Because if I do it in my time, in the afternoon or evening or whatever like that, you all will be asleep. So because of the time difference between wherever you all are at and me in Korea. So I get more engagement early in the morning, so probably around the same time, around 7-ish here in Korea for whatever time it is for you all. I don't know. What time is it where you guys are at? Throw that up there for me. Because it is 7:40 a.m. in the morning on 26th of the month. So let me know what time it is in Canada. And anybody else, you can throw your times in the comment section down below as well. I'd like to know that. So, and that will give me an idea of when I can do my unboxing video, and also put down whether you want it on a weekday or a weekend, or it doesn't matter. Let me know about that. What would be a good day to do the unboxing. And of course, if it's streamed, it's going to be recorded and it'll be on YouTube. So yeah, it'll be there as well. But let's see. New York Girl says 5:41 p.m. in New York. Hey, you're back. Cool. 5:41. So a little bit of a time difference that we got going. And yeah, gonna be doing the K2 Plus. Gonna pull the trigger on that. And gonna be doing some prints and things like that. Another interesting note is that my daughter, who I live in Korea, I'm next to a United States military base, the largest overseas military base in the world. My daughter is being stationed here. She's actually here, and she wants to get some 3D print stuff done as well. So yeah, we're going to be doing some cool stuff. She's going to, buy some files, and we'll print some stuff, and we'll kind of document this journey with the K2 Plus, and keeping our fingers crossed and hopefully we get a good one. And yeah, please let me get a good one. Because returning things and here in Korea is, thankfully with this store that I'm buying this from, they have really, really good reviews, and they're really good with helping out their customers and their machines. They do Creality machines, Flash Forge, Snapmaker, Anycubic. They do a lot of filament sales. They have printer accessories and spare parts and a bunch of other stuff. So that was another reason that I picked that store, because they have real good customer service. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Skoa says, as far as when to do the unboxing, doesn't matter. I'm awake around the clock. You are better than me. I need my nap time. But then again, I might be a little bit older, pushing 58. No, I am 58. I'm pushing 59 this year. Holy crow. Wow. No wonder I take naps. So, yeah. Either way, but I'm thinking it'll probably be in the morning of one of these things, and like New York Girl, New York Cyril, I think that's it. But it'll probably be around the 7 o'clock time frame in the morning. And so that way it's kind of in the evening for most people. You should be done with work. And for school, you're just up 24/7. So I'm good either way. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give an update on that. So look forward to that. I also have going to be doing an unboxing from this company here, DVoom, to spark your life. And what this ends up being, the company contacted me, and it's kind of like a graphic 64-bit picture thing, video monitor, live stream. Well, it's not live stream, but you can do like weather, you could do pictures, you could do, stock trading or whatever on there, and it updates, and you can put that in the background. And I think that would be kind of a cool thing. You could do weather or my YouTube channel and the number of subscribers or whatever it is. That should be pretty cool. So I'm going to be reviewing that. and seeing how that works. And then we'll put that up somewhere in the background so people can see it because it's kind of cool. So yeah, it's looking forward to doing that as well. And then yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll probably jump into the K2 Plus, barring any problems. So keep the fingers crossed. I would appreciate that. And again, if you enjoy the channel, I would appreciate any like and subscribe to the Varied Life channel. That would help with the YouTube algorithm gods. And I'm also looking at applying for AdSense and getting my channel monetized because I have over 50,000 subs. I got a lot of hours, but there's a whole backstory of how did I get the subs? I used to have a gun channel, and then way back when there was a school shooting, guns suddenly became evil. And then my channel got flagged with a bunch of videos, and then I had to rebrand because they threatened to shut down my channel, even though I was doing the exact same thing as a lot of big channels. It was a whole mess. And so basically I kind of had to quit that gun and gear review stuff, and then I started doing drone stuff. If you look back to my early videos, I had to take down all my other ones. And then now that I'm retired here in Korea, decided to do 3D printing, miniatures, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we got going on. If you have any questions or anything like that, I have an email address. You can contact me, and I've answered every single email that everybody has sent me. So if you have questions about my journey as being an expat, retiring here in Korea, I can help you out with that, share our experiences, the hobby stuff, whatever. Just want to chat and say hi. Email address is right there. If you want, if you're so inclined, you could buy me a coffee. There's a link for that in the description box down below. And these people right here are on the much respect list. They have bought me coffee, and all of the funds that come into this channel buying me coffee go into helping keep this channel alive. So, you know, the money that I get from that, you would think it would be a good amount, and it is, but then I buy coffee for other people, and so it's almost a wash. So basically I get a few $100s, and the wife doesn't really like it. Why are you buying coffee for people? And it's like, because I like their content, and they're giving me information that is valuable to me. So yeah, it's kind of a wash, but a couple extra $100, it's not bad, and it funds me with resin and eventually filament. So yeah, well. And even if we don't, it doesn't matter. Just like and subscribe. I would appreciate that more. So if you have any ideas, one last thing for everybody. If you have any ideas for prints on the K2 Plus that I can do, of course, we'll do the unboxing and the first live print. Put that in the comment section. Ideas for prints, free prints, because I'm cheap. In case you didn't know, I'm cheap, but I'm not free. But I would like, prints that are free and that we could do some testing to. And I've got a couple ideas of some prints that we could do to, look at the quality for the default settings and all this. And yeah, it'll be kind of a cool little journey to see where all this goes. Alrighty, I'm starving, and that's time to eat. So I got to let you all go, and wherever you are, thanks for watching. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. We'll see you on the next one. And when I get this thing ordered, I'll kind of pick a day on when we can do the unboxing to kind of give you some time, some time so that you know when this is going to happen. Let's see. One last comment. You can make an Uncle Jesse in the unboxing and have more diffusion. It's always you talking about the door. I'm not going to do the door thing. I was watching that video and I saw that happen, and I was like, it's almost time slowed down as he started moving the machine, and I'm like, but he can't hear me. And then it swing, poof, and it just exploded. That was hilarious. But yeah, he will forever be remembered for that door. So yeah, I'm going to take special pains to not do that. Okay, anyway, that's going to be it. We'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Peace. Yeah, I'm not going to do the door.